some more great news. They agreed to fix the repairs that we asked for.
Awesome.
So what we're going to do is a final walkthrough at the very end of the process. So about 3 to 5 days before we close, we're going to walk through and double check that they did the repairs. At the same time, they ought to be providing receipts as the repairs are done. So what I'm going to do, part of my job is to stay up with that realtor, the buyer's agent, and the listing agent, and make sure that as the repairs are done, they send us receipts. That way when we do our final walkthrough, there's no surprises. And the other great news is that the appraisal is back.
Awesome.
So as soon as we got the thumbs up on them doing the repairs and you were ready to move forward, we called Bart right away and we said, let's get that appraisal ordered. So he pushed the button on that, got it done. The guy came out, did his job, and submitted the report to Bart. He sent it to us. I printed it out, and that's what we're looking at here. Now, in this appraisal, you're going to notice that it actually appraised for $5,000 over the purchase price.
So can they make me pay more?
No. The sellers will not see this appraisal.
Okay.
This is for you, me, and the lender's eyes only. So they may ask us at the closing table, hey, what did it appraise for? Just throughout the process, but they don't need to know. This is the buyer's information only. Okay, so you're paying, this is part of your closing costs. This is for you only.
Okay.
So what it means is that you already are in the green as far as equity goes. You have $5,000 in equity on this home. So if the market continues to do what it's done in this subdivision, you're going to gain more and more equity. So when you call me in 3 to 5 years, like the average first-time buyer, to sell the home, I'm hoping you're going to be way more in the green, and we can make you a good bit of money on your investment.
How do they come up with what it appraises for?
Good question. So what I'm going to show you is typically 3 to 5 comps is what an appraiser tries to pull. And they are trying to find 3 to 5 of the most similar homes that sold in the neighborhood. If there's none, then they go outside of the neighborhood, but within the vicinity that sold within the last 12 months, preferably sooner. And they justify the value of this home compared to very similar comparable homes that have sold recently. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So the good news is the 3 that have sold recently sold for a little bit more than what you're buying this one for, which is fantastic, which drove up the value of this one.
Kind of what you showed me when we were deciding what to offer.
That's right. So in the initial offer, we want to make sure that the home is going to be worth it and you're not wasting your money on inspection and the appraisal fee to get this done prior, because if they're way overpriced, my job is to tell you that, to say, look, I don't know if it's worth doing, we can try, but if they don't agree to a certain appraisal value that I think it should appraise for, it's not worth your money, and I'm going to save you money and time on that. So does everything make sense? Good. The very next step that I want you to do is start price checking insurance costs. So this is for your homeowner's insurance, and I'm also going to recommend for flood insurance. Okay. So because this home isn't a flood zone, what I want you to do is to take the elevation certificate that we got from the seller and present that to your insurance person. And they're going to know right away and be able to give you quotes based on that. So it'll be the most accurate number because we have an elevation certificate that gives us the exact elevation of this home. So homeowners insurance and flood insurance is what I want you to do.
So should I just call some people off the internet
No.
or go whoever I have my car through?
No.
What do you recommend?
What I recommend is to call a referral that I'm going to send your way, Phil Schmidt. He's an excellent insurance agent with, and what he's going to do is price check, a whole bunch of companies to get you the best deal for what you're buying. Okay. And so he'll make sure you're okay. So I like Phil with Schmidt Insurance.
All right.
So any other questions?
So where do we go from there? So is there anything else that I need to do?
So stick to the buyer's packet that I showed you. The next step is basically we're going to be in escrow. Every time Bart says, I need something from you, get it to him as quickly as possible. So the date on the contract to close is basically when we should close. That's when you're going to get the key at the table. That's when the home's going to be yours. So budget about an hour of your time frame to sit down. We're going to close at Cypress Title. And we'll let you know as we get closer what you need to bring. And so the last thing will be, we'll get the numbers from Bart and the title company of the amount in a cashier's check form or a certified funds check from your lender that we'll need to bring. And that'll be part of the closing costs and down payment that you need. So once we get that final figure from them is when you're gonna have to go to your bank and get it. It can't be a personal check. All right, so it'll need to be a certified funds check from your bank.
All right, and do I need to tell anybody who I choose for insurance?
Yes. So the lender, Bart, will want to know who you're going to go with insurance. So if your family members or anybody sends you referrals, that's fine. Price check them all, but my guy Phil usually beats everybody.
And then another thing that I saw in there was that move-in checklist.
Yes.
So when should I start calling to have?
Great question. Do that, I would say, a week before.
Okay.
So at least 5 working days before we close. Call them and let it's Entergy here. And so call them and say, hey, I'm going to be the new homeowner. We close on this date. Can you make sure it gets transferred over into your name for the day of closing?
Okay.
Also call Baton Rouge Water Company. They're the ones that handle the water. And so get them to transfer it over the same day. They'll need to know the homeowner's last name, and it's on the purchase agreement.
Okay.
Okay? In case they ask, which they probably will.
All right. And other than that, just
That's
kind of wait
it.
to hear
Just
from
hang
Bart.
tight. Please stick to the 10 Commandments.
Okay.
Stay where you're at, no changes. The lender will rerun your credit score and may check bank statements again.
Okay.
So if they see any surprises, there could be issues with getting financing for this property. So just hang tight, do nothing different until we buy this house.
Okay. And so the next thing is the walkthrough, you said?
Yes, and so we're going to schedule a walkthrough once they're completed repairs. As soon as I get that, then about 3 to 5 working days, or 3 to 5 days before closing, we'll go walk through the home.
Okay, perfect.
All right. So I'll call you closer to the time of closing to set a date for our final walkthrough. So I'll see you then.
All right.